Ironman. To finish one takes an extreme level of strength, endurance, and the will to complete it. It's an exclusive group who pursue something that at its very core is very inclusive, welcoming to people from every background, young and old, male and female. Even though that in its very first year, back in 1978, it actually was an all-male affair. But by year 2, Lynn Lemaire was on that beach in Hawaii. Ironman would have its first woman of iron. The sport changed forever. Then in 1982, a woman would give us arguably the biggest moment in Ironman history. With 2 miles to go, victory seemed inevitable. Then at mile 25, Julie Moss hit the wall hard. Moss fought on, but it was Kathleen McCartney who crossed the line in first. The victory was gone, but what remained? The desire of one woman to simply finish. And when she completed the distance, it was clear that her body had won the battle, but her mind had won the war. And for all who would follow, including those who have come here to Subaru Ironman Canada, it was a woman who had provided the inspiration for the mantra that anything is possible.
Anything is possible. If you want to do something, you put your mind to it, you can do it. And I think if you really believe you can do something, then you try and do the best you can.
You know, I think the women that started this sport were tough cookies, and I think it's symbolic of life. I mean, every challenge is unique in its own way, and that's why we do Ironman.
When I started, it was the Canadian women, actually. They were all top of the world. They were doing Kona and winning, like Lori Bowden, Heather Freer, and Natasha Bamman as well. She's one of the pioneers. They really inspired me at the time.
I saw Julie Moss finish and knew that that was a really significant moment. She set the stage for all of us. I was racing when Wendy and Sean crawled across, and you just ache for that kind of effort, but you also admire the strength and sort of courage that it takes.
From that very first woman, and to all that have stepped up to the starting line since, they have become an integral part of the history, the fabric that is Ironman. The next chapter is about to be written. This is the 2014 edition of Subaru Ironman Canada. They will eventually make their way to the mountains, to Whistler Village and the finish line. At least, that's the plan. But first, they will make their way into Alta Lake. The swim, the first discipline they must conquer.
Body marking.
What's your number there?
108.
108.
I think it's just such a great sport to feel empowered. And I think it really helps women, and I think it helps give that sense of family when you're racing together.
I bow to that strength, and I don't think it ever gets easier, and I think every race is unique in its own way, and I think it's symbolic of life. I mean, every challenge is unique in its own way, and that's why we do Ironman. We're up for a challenge.
The bigger thing for me is I race Ironman to figure out how tough I am. So, you know, I'm hoping with Marino Vanhoenacker, the Ironman world record holder, and the rest of the amazing field, that somebody here will push me to that limit.
The pros, the amateurs, male or female, everyone comes to find out what their own limits might be. 68-year-old Karen Thibodeau looking to discover that as well.
It will be very challenging for me, but I don't run from challenge. The simplest way to say it is it demonstrates what's possible. That becomes something that you admire and strive for. So if it's courage or endurance or the ability to just sort of stay on task, and I think those things are really important for all aspects of one's life.
Olympic gold medalist Simon Whitfield preparing to lead them out. The start now, just moments away.
I've been watching Ironman since its inception, so the fact that I made my first one it's like a dream come true.
Well, the swimming kind of came kind of easy. When back home in Saskatchewan, I was a lifeguard and a speed swimmer at the same time, so the swimming comes pretty natural for me.
Former NHL star Kelly Buckberger was a fixture on the ice for 18 years. Today, he's among the hundreds of rookies here, chasing the dream of completing an Ironman.
I love triathlon because so many different types of people can do this. You can be elite or you can be a normal person like me and attempt this amazing thing.
The age group athletes, they are just getting underway, trying to settle in for the long day ahead. The professionals, they got their day underway earlier. Well into the swim, 5 men have broken away. Australian Paul Ambrose, Belgium's Marino Vanhoenacker, American Matt Lieto, and a pair of Canadians, Jeff Symonds, and the defending champion, Trevor Wurtell. To the elite women's race, she represented New Zealand as an open water swimmer at the World Championships. Anna Cleaver represents the woman to catch here at Subaru Ironman Canada. More than 2 minutes back, Canada's Karen Thibodeau, former runner-up at Subaru Ironman Canada, and a pair of Americans, Bree Wee and Jackie Arndt. The trio looking to limit the damage in the water. From Whistler, British Columbia, this is Subaru Ironman Canada. The amateurs working away on this 2.4-mile course. For Marino Vanhoenacker, the swim is complete, 50:56 his time. It is a group of 5, though separated by mere seconds. This is the first time the Belgian has exited the water out front. But with 9 Ironman titles, it is clear to all he knows how to lead when it matters the most. Just a few seconds back, Canadian Trevor Wurtell, as the defending champion, he has what everyone wants, the Subaru Ironman Canada title. Australian Paul Ambrose, the new leader. Vanhoenacker there as well.
There's that old saying, you got to make your enemies your friends to proceed further in your quest or your goal. And yeah, I think Marino is going to be one of those guys who could be right there with me, like from the get-go. I think he might still even have the official Ironman world record for racing, so he's like an Ironman legend and veteran at the same time.
Vanhoenacker's Ironman record, 7:45:58, set at Ironman Austria in 2011, his 6th consecutive title there. Vanhoenacker may have the most Ironman titles of anyone here, but Australian Paul Ambrose has 2 of his own. Trevor Wurtell now 3rd, as he looks to defend his title and get a 2nd Ironman win as well. New Zealand swim sensation Anna Cleaver will leave the medium where she is one of the very best. The pre-race favorites will look to attack her on dry land. Canadian Karen Thibodeau will be the first to take up pursuit. Americans Bree Wee and Jackie Arndt right there as well. The transition from swim to bike must be thorough, and it must be quick. Karen Thibodeau heading out. Bree Wee there as well. Anna Cleaver with the 53:09 clocking. It is her advantage over the others that means the most. For Thibodeau, a 3-minute deficit to start the bike. There will be no change to anyone's plans, at least not yet.
The bike course here is different. It's a really, really hard course, and I think it's probably one of the hardest in the Ironman circuit. Hopefully I can just settle into a good pace, get comfortable, and be a little bit conservative in the beginning so that you have something to climb out of Pemberton and a little bit of gas left in the tank for the run.
A smile from American Jackie Arndt. It is a rare moment to take it all in. The pain of racing at an elite level, ever present. Out front, Anna Cleaver. The Kiwi took control in the water, but that 3-minute advantage beginning to evaporate under the sun. Back at Lake Alta, the amateurs continue to exit the water. As one discipline comes to an end, another challenge awaits. For many, the swim is the one they fear. But the bike can be daunting as well. 112 miles, total elevation 6,013 feet. It is where Karen Thibodeau will be heading next. She has been competing now for 30 years. Triathlon, Ironman, a part of who she is.
Out here, ready to the bike. Okay, here we go. All right.
Well, I started racing triathlons in 1984. Found out I was better at it than running. It tells you what is possible, what you can do, the ability to sort of problem solve as you go are incredible skills to have. And I think triathlon teaches that to everyone. It's been extremely satisfying and gratifying for me. So I've kept it up. Raised 2 children, have full-time, as my husband said, 24/7 job, and so it became a stress reducer. And then I was struck when I was 60 years old from behind by a distracted driver, and after 2 years of surgeries and a bone infection, my leg was amputated below the knee. I've had to dig pretty deep in these last years, yeah. It's just, it gives you a whole new perspective on life. But I was really, really motivated to get back to doing what I love to do. And so that's what I've done. So I'm actually the first woman to qualify as a challenged athlete as an age grouper. It helps to be 68 years old. So last year was really important. I was able to train much better. I had a much better fitting leg. All was going well. I was faster on the bike. I was feeling pretty good. The weather was better, and that's very important in Hawaii. And at about mile 3, I noticed this funny noise on the run. At mile 6, it was really getting bad. Well, it turned out the bolts had loosened on the back of the attachment of the cheetah to my socket. And as a result of the accident, I also have 4 fused vertebrae, and running wobbling really set my back into spasms. So I finished the run barely. It was a real struggle. I couldn't stand up straight. It was very weird. I just kept running. Mike Riley was sort of dragging me, and I thought maybe I was going to make it. So I finished in 17 hours and 43 seconds, but I crossed the finish line. So it was pretty exciting. I've done my work. I've done the work I needed to do. And I made sure my socket and the bolts were tight on my leg, on my running leg.
Whistler. Famous around the world as the host of several events at the 2010 Winter Olympics. And now home to Subaru Ironman Canada. They are heading up toward the dormant volcano peak of Mount Callahan, site of the Olympic Nordic events. To get there, 13 kilometers, 500 meters of vertical climbing. It represents the first major climb, but not the last, at Subaru Ironman Canada. Paul Ambrose and Marino Vanhoenacker will lead the assault. The Aussie and the Belgian have been using each other, pushing their advantage, both aware that the defending champion Trevor Wurtele of Canada is well positioned, looking to stay close on the bike so he can attack on the run.
Last year, watching Trevor win this race and it being his first Ironman win was, it was probably the highlight of my season. It's really exciting to know when all those years of hard work just pay off with a win like that.
Yeah, last year, me and Matt Russell came out of T2 together, and I knew Matt's strengths were on the run as well. So we were together for the early miles, and really at that point, you're not fighting each other too much. You're really just trying to run a comfortable pace. I knew he was strong, so I didn't want to give him any leeway. I'm assuming he knew I could run with him, so he didn't want to give me any leeway, but it was nice to get rid of him around mile 6 or 7 last year, so then I could just run my own race.
Yeah, that was spectacular. Just watching him come down the finish chute, and the energy of the crowd is always amazing, but when it's your husband that won, I never experienced how just like incredible that was before, and so of course, crying and so happy, and that was a great moment.
We started the sport together 10 years ago and have grown through the age group ranks and into professionals, and both now have won Ironman races. So it was a great feeling to share that growth and accomplishment together.
It's great to see him just really rising to the occasion and going out there and competing amongst some of the best and having a really solid result.
I mean, you gotta know who you're racing. This year there's a few more guys to pay attention to. I mean, Marino Vanhoenacker is definitely, he's the Ironman world record holder, some ungodly time under 8 hours. He's number 1 on my list as far as guys to watch out for. Matt Russell, of course, great bike runner, and Jeff Symonds too. He's probably the best runner in the field.
Of course, he's gunning to win it again. That's the objective, and you just hope that the day plays out, you know, in the right ways, and he can just push his body to the max and come away with another win.
For Wurtele, there is good news and there is bad news early into the 112-mile bike. American Matt Russell won in 2012, battled Wurtele for the win a year ago. Today, he is well back from the Canadian and losing time. The bad, Australian Paul Ambrose is beginning to pull away. Early into the ride, the Timex Prix. $1,000 to both the first male and female. Ambrose will take it for the men. Belgium's Marino Vanhoenacker not far back in second. Like Ambrose, his real goal, to win.
I mean, I love to race hard, you know. I mean, hold on to the group if I can in the swim and then hammer it on the bike and see what's left in the run. I managed to somehow trick my body and locking out the signal, so I keep going and going and going.
Vanhoenacker has established himself as one of the world's top contenders, but the 38-year-old has struggled the past 15 months following a stress fracture. Trevor Wurtele was among the leaders a year ago on the bike. This time he is on his own in third. The leaders are out of sight, nearly 3 minutes up. American Matt Lieto was with this group, a flat tire as they began the climb. Now, concerns ahead, concerns behind. New Zealand's Anna Cleaver has held her lead at the Timex Preem, earning the $1,000 bonus, which she also has unwelcome company. Canadian Karen Thibodeau right there.
With an Ironman, it's different than, even a half. You have to race smart, and it's like breaking it down into sort of little small, simple things. Because if you sort of think of the race as, the start line is this 9-10 hour day, it can be pretty overwhelming.
Americans Bree Wee and Jackie aren't close as well, as they all push through this long climb up the Callahan Valley Road. The amateurs pushing through this bike course as well. Karen Adelot's where she planned to be, well ahead of the bike cutoff time of 5:30 p.m. Time saved during the bike critical to her effort to finish the marathon before the final cutoff. On her last attempt, she completed the distance, but was 48 seconds after midnight. For everyone, if you make the swim cutoff, there is a combined 10.5 hours allowed to complete the bike. Some will need every second. A sunny day in the BC mountains. Perfect conditions for the 2014 edition of Subaru Ironman Canada. Marino Vanhoenacker has been casting a big shadow since his triathlon career began in 1997. He has had success at every distance. Right now, he is the lead. Australian Paul Ambrose knows the leader's resume. Cycling at that pace has destroyed many. For Canadian Trevor Wurtele, the run is where he won it a year ago. But as he hits the Pemberton roundabout, his deficit already 5 minutes. At 28, Canadian Jeff Symonds could be considered young. It is a sport where decision during the race and even decisions prior to the race can have a huge impact.
I chose to use a deep dish wheel for this race. There's a lot of climbing on the course. There's just a lot of moments where the deep dish wheels are going to be quite a bit lighter and accelerate a bit better.
Vanhoenacker's one that chose a disc wheel. He arrived 2.5 weeks prior to the race, hours in the saddle, looking for every possible advantage. With the right winds, a disc wheel can act as a sail. It has become clear that the 38-year-old made the right decision.
Past Pemberton, you have a relative flat part where then you have to change from changing gears all the time to a steady bigger gear, and then coming back into town you have to change that all over again. So it's really, I think it's a really hard race to pace and to estimate what's possible. I pretty much believe you can feel great for 90% of the bike course and thinking, okay, there's so much left in the tank, and then you blow. And the same goes for the run. So it's really, it's a hard race, a hard course, and in that way it's probably also a tricky course.
If Vanhoenacker is holding back, the other men may be seeing the Belgian of old, prior to his injury, when he was one of the world's most dominant Ironman competitors. His lead now 6 minutes. Anna Cleaver has led the entire day. It is about to come to an end. The Canadian Karen Thibodeau set to take over the top spot. 2 years back, Thibodeau was in her first Ironman, said her main goal was to finish. She crossed the line second. Now, she wants more.
I'd love to have that win, and it's it's a different race this time around too. Now it's a bigger event for pros. There's more points towards Kona. There's a lot more prize money, so it does draw a much bigger crowd. So it is going to be tougher, but having said that, you know, I've had 2 years too to get better.
The Kiwi with no answer. Her lead is gone, and there is more to come. American Bree Wee said she would be patient on the bike. Now second. So far sticking with the game plan. Fellow American Jackie Arendt echoing that game plan. The pair are the only women here with Ironman titles, both with the knowledge of what it takes to win.
It's just important to hold back and know that, especially at this course, that the last, you know, part of the bike ride is going to be really challenging, and you can't have totally cashed legs for that last bit, or it's going to be just like a suffer grinder fest.
The women heading away from Whistler Mountain. Karen Thibodeau leading the way. Subaru Ironman Canada moved to Whistler just 1 year ago, but already the course has become legendary.
Just driving up from Vancouver, it's a beautiful ride up. You know, the backdrop, and the people of Canada is just friendly, welcoming, can't beat it.
Subaru Ironman Canada in Whistler is one of the most scenic courses in the whole circuit. It's one of those spectacular races where you can really appreciate nature's beauty the whole time you're out there.
It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, just to see the lake with the mountains in the background, the water looks beautiful, and I'm ready.
So appealing to come up here, you know, the real heart of what I think is the Pacific Northwest, and ride and race in the rainforest.
I like the Pemberton Meadows section too. Just kind of zone out, just focus on riding for a while, but the mountains you view from there are beautiful.
Former NHL star Kelly Buchberger may be in his first Ironman, but no one will deny that he knows what it takes to battle through.
He was there. Here come the Oilers. This is Gord Park. A drop pass. Buchberger drives it. Short to go again for Edmonton. They're sixth of the year, and it's a 3-2 Oiler lead.
Buchberger was the 188th overall pick in the 1985 NHL entry draft. Yet he fought his way through the minors and onto the Edmonton Oilers roster, winning 2 Stanley Cups.
Now Cobert and Kelly Buchberger measuring one another. Cobert, there's a Buchberger. Kelly Buchberger and Stu Grimson. They're here to connect, and now they stand there and trade right hand. Now they come together. Now they switch to the left. Buchberger swinging wildly, and Buchberger has the right hand move.
Best known for his gritty play and leadership, he would become the Oilers captain for 4 years. These days, he is with the club in the player personnel role.
I think it comes back to you want something to challenge yourself after you're done playing, and we all miss the game when we're done, and this just gives us another challenge, and it gives us things to do for training.
Berger, save made Urbe. Buchberger scores! The rebound came right to him.
I think when you're going through a run of the playoffs and you go through 4 series, and some series will go 7 games, it's a grind, and it really is, and people get hurt and they play through pain, and I'm sure for guys that do the Ironman and ladies that do the Ironman, it's a painful struggle at times to get through it, and they fight through it and they find a way to get through the difficult time.
It is all part of the Ironman, pushing one's limits to see what is possible. Canadian Karen Thibodeau has broken away, now all alone out front. However, a new challenger moving up. American Mackenzie Madison was 6th, nearly 3 minutes back out of the water. But on the bike, no one is matching her pace. She has passed 2 women already. Her next victim, Jackie Arendt. And then it's Bree Wee. Madison now 2nd, well into this 112-mile bike. 4 women, all in position to win. They have all heard the same thing over and over. When it comes to Ironman, patience is the key. Karen Thibodeau knows her competitors, knows herself. She will make her gamble on the bike.
I'm a swimmer, that's sort of my strength. So right off the get-go, I have to be ready and try to get the biggest lead I can. And the bike course here is different. It's a really, really hard course, and I mean, I think it's probably one of the hardest in the Ironman circuit. So you can't be too trigger happy at the beginning because you can really, burn your legs out for that run. So hopefully I can just settle into a good pace, get comfortable, and be a little bit conservative in the beginning so that you have something to come out of Pemberton and a little bit of gas left in the tank for the run.
4 hours, 31 minutes. An impressive time on any Ironman bike course. To achieve it on this course, all the more so. Marino Vanhoenacker in a league of his own on the bike. Australian Paul Ambrose next into T2, but his 10-minute deficit highlights how incredible Vanhoenacker's performance has been to this point. As for the defending champion Trevor Wurtele, he will not only need to rely on his incredible running resume, he will need the leader to falter. Vanhoenacker running with ease. However, there is a history of trouble, especially during the later stages. Still more than 2.5 hours of racing remain.
Basically, I win or I blow up somewhere along the way and I end up in an ambulance and go to hospital or whatever. If I say I blow up, it's really like a light switch that goes off.
Vanhoenacker has seen the switch go out 4 or 5 times in the past 4 years. For now, all systems are a go. Canadian Jeff Symonds back into Whistler Village in 4th place. He exited the water with Vanhoenacker. He finishes the bike nearly 20 minutes back. Marino Vanhoenacker with the bike of the day. His lead now double digits with 1 discipline to go. Paul Ambrose will head out onto the marathon in 2nd, well back of the leader, with the fleet-footed Canadian closing. Early into the run, Trevor Wurtele doing what he does best. This pass on Paul Ambrose, moving him into 2nd place. But catching the next man, that may prove too much on this day. Vanhoenacker, a picture of consistency. The 38-year-old veteran looking to do what he has done so often, build a huge lead on the bike, then run a solid marathon to victory. For the women, a renewed rivalry. 2 years ago at Subaru Ironman Canada, Karen Thibodeau passed a faltering Mackenzie Madison in the late stages of the bike. Madison would withdraw from the race soon after. Thibodeau would go on to take 2nd place. 24 months later, it is the American with the late pass as the duo head back toward Whistler Village. Well back, the only women here with Ironman titles are 3rd and 4th respectively. They have a rivalry of their own. Hawaii's Bree Wee took her title at Ironman Louisville in 2012. The woman she beat by less than 2 minutes, Jackie Arnott. The Americans separated by almost that identical amount late into the bike. She will be first off the bike. Mackenzie Madison says she's a different athlete than her first time at Subaru Ironman Canada. She has a marathon to prove it. Karen Thibodeau just a few seconds back. Like Madison, she too believes she has elevated her game. As was the case 2 years ago, once again she will have to deal with the American. This time, it has come down to the run. Bree Wee will come into T2 in 3rd, more than 5 minutes back. But changes can come quickly on the final discipline. Mackenzie Madison with a 42-second advantage over Thibodeau. Wee, Arnott, and Canadian Christine Fletcher rounding out the top 5. The Canadian Thibodeau patiently pulling back time. just like that, there is a new leader. However, Madison quick to pick up the pace. This has become a battle that is as much mental as it is physical. The question is, who will falter first? When Marino Vanhoenacker started the marathon with a 10-minute advantage, the biggest question was, would his body shut down as it has in the past? With more than 3/4 of the run complete, it is looking like on this day the Belgian has rediscovered the form that took him to the fastest ever Ironman time. The current course record belongs to last year's champion, Canadian Trevor Wortell. Hopes of repeating are long gone. Now fourth, he is in damage control. The man inflicting damage on the run, Jeff Symonds, the Vancouver triathlete, went from 4th to 2nd on the run, setting the stage for his best Ironman result ever.
This is why I love the Ironman, because it suits me as a character. That you know, my biggest strength is that I got a lot of heart, and I'm going to go hard, and as I like to say, get ugly out there. And the Ironman is an event more so than any other race that rewards your toughness and rewards somebody who's a bad man.
Mackenzie Madison and Karen Thibodeau have been locked in a battle the entire run. One will surge, only to see the other respond. The American back in front, but the Canadian only seconds back. However, there is another woman set to join the battle. Bree Wee, now with the 2 leaders in her sights, pushed on by the knowledge that her biggest fan is not only with her during the race, he will be there at the finish line as well.
Well, it just says Kainoa, that's my son's name. It's kind of, so I always remember that he's with me. Another word for Kainoa is strong. So it kind of reminds me to stay strong when I see his little name there.
It is a strong move when it finally comes. Karen Thibodeau dropped back into 3rd. A few moments later, Madison Mackenzie sees the lead go yet again. However, this pass has a more permanent feel to it. Bree Wee with her first lead of the day. It could not have come at a better time. Karen ate a lot on the run. The determination that has brought her this far remains, with the clock beginning to become her enemy.
I'm having a really hard time. I don't know if I have time to finish. So I'll just do the best I can. Just depends if I perk up. Keep moving.
It is the final discipline, a journey that encompasses a total of 140.6 miles.
It's such a beautiful race. The run is spectacular. Everybody's suffering together, that's okay.
Beers are on order.
After hours of racing, for most the finish line is still a long way off, but not for everyone. He has the world's fastest Ironman time ever, and his 10th Ironman title will be a new course record. Marino Vanhoenacker is the Subaru Ironman Canada champion.
Congratulations. Well done.
Congratulations, champ. Great job, man. You're a legend.
It's not that I wanted to prove it to the world, that I wanted to prove it to myself. Get my head clear and relaxed now. waiting for this thing to happen for 15 months now, and finally I'm back on track.
The run of the day, a blistering 2:40 marathon. Jeff Symonds said he would use his competitors to get the most out of himself. The result? Second place to one of the very best.
When I got on the run, man, I got ugly out there, and that's what I do best. So I couldn't catch Marino, the guys on another level, and I'm just on my way up.
Paul Ambrose with nothing left, but he has a third place result for his efforts. For Canadian Trevor Wurtele, on this day, his best discipline turned out to be his undoing. The former champion struggles home in fourth. In a course record time of 8 hours, 16 minutes, and 10 seconds, Marino Vanhoenacker of Belgium, Symonds with second, followed by Ambrose, Wurtele, and American Andrew Drobek. She came to Canada from Kailua Kona, Hawaii, home of the Ironman World Championship, looking to qualify for her hometown race. Winning will achieve that and so much more. Her son Kinoa, the first to greet the new champion.
I'm so proud.
Karen Thibodeau came in confident she could win. She came very close to doing so. A courageous race places her in second. From a DNF at Subaru Ironman Canada in 2012 to this, Mackenzie Madison gave absolutely everything she had on this day. Bree Wee, in a time of 9 hours, 46 minutes, and 58 seconds, is the champion. Karen Thibodeau with second, followed by Madison, Arendt, and Anna Cleaver. They are spread across the marathon, the final discipline, alone in their struggles, together in their goal to finish. The 2014 edition of Subaru Ironman Canada is brought to you by Subaru, Confidence in Motion, Newton, and by Tourism Whistler. From the time of the first finisher, just over 8 hours after the start right up until midnight, the finish line becomes a 17-hour celebration. It is what they spent months, even years, building towards. For many, that moment's still hours away. Karen Adelot knew this would be a challenge, but taking life head on is nothing new for this lady. On this day, time will run out. She knows she will not make the midnight cutoff, but nothing and no one is going to stop her from completing the first of 2 loops. Inspiring on so many levels, the push toward the finish line goes on. The NHL well represented here in Canada. Josh Pronger played 260 games with 7 different teams, becoming an Ironman within his grasp.
I love the challenge of this sport. Just the feeling of empowerment is just such a rewarding experience. And it doesn't matter if you're winning the race or if you're just, finishing at 17 hours. Overcoming that experience is pretty magical for everybody.
For fellow NHL alumni Kelly Buchberger, reaching the finish line is a way to honor his #1 fan.
It's in memory of my dad. My dad was passed away a few years ago, and he was very proud of his kids. And so you'll see 3 B's on my jersey and my shorts tomorrow representing my dad, and it represents Billy Buck's boy. So this race is in memory of my dad.
turn that last corner and take that left-hand turn down Blackcomb Drive, you see the lights, you hear the crowd roaring, and you're going to run faster than you've run all night or all day. And this almost lightness comes into your body. It's fully electric. It's emotional. People cry, people scream, people jump, people cartwheel, somersault. It is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, especially for the first time through.
I don't know anyone, whether you've been involved, you've raced or not, that doesn't watch the TV show at the end and the people, that all of the different expressions that people have when they cross the finish line of joy, utter exhaustion.
Racer number 2248, Walter Lee from California, will be the last one to complete the distance in the allotted 17 hours. There to give him his medal, Bree Wee, the first woman. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.